Hello, welcome back to Inside the USFL, a podcast giving you an inside look at the USFL from someone on the inside. I am Zach Brunner, and I am joined by USFL champion, Birmingham Stallion offensive lineman Jordan McCray. How is it going? We're about 2 weeks removed from you winning the championship. So how is everything going in your world right now?
It's been good, man. Finally back home in Florida. Haven't had much to do at all, but been relaxing, little small workouts here and there, and really just enjoying it. Waiting to see what's going to happen next, and just enjoying being back home around my family and friends.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was at the game. Great game, great
Mhm.
environment, great experience. I know your family was there because I was basically right next to your family. So I'm like, is that Jordan in the crowd? No, it's Justin. Okay, that's good. But yeah, everything seemed to go extremely well. Just right off the bat, uh, H Geyer 99 wants to know what you thought of the crowds in Canton, and I know especially for the championship game,
Mhm.
the stands were packed. I mean, that was a packed stadium. How was it?
No, it was really packed. Really good crowd. Pretty much, maybe a little bit more. I'd say about even for who they're going for. When we played New Orleans, it's about even, and then when we played Philly, maybe a little bit more Philly fans because it's just closer. But it was a great crowd, man. Great atmosphere. Um, both really good games, and I really enjoyed it, man. I didn't know what to expect going there at first, but I think it went really well. Hopefully, it's something that we keep doing.
For sure. And yeah, there's a lot of Philly fans there. I'm not sure why I wasn't even expecting that. Like in the
Yeah,
parking lot before the game, everyone was decked out in Stallion stuff. Everyone like yelling across the parking lot, like, who are you for? And it was all Stallions. Then I get in there and I was surrounded by Philly fans. I'm like, oh, shit. Okay, here we
they
go.
showed up a little bit earlier, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. They were there. They were there. But it was, yeah, cool experience. If you haven't been to the stadium in Canton, it's a smaller stadium, but it's really nice. I think they just did renovations to it, so really nice. How is it any different playing in a smaller stadium like that versus playing in the stadiums you did down in Birmingham?
um, I would say the only difference is because we are the away team for the championship game, is that um is that you can hear a little bit more of the crowd. Like if somebody's trying to talk to you, they can definitely get your attention. Like my best friend Dez came down. I think it was like the last drive. We were down by 4. He's like, "Bro, I can't sit up here. I got to be down here closer to the action." But like it would I'll probably say that's the only thing, is that I guess it is a little bit more intimate, for lack of a better word, because I mean they're only 7 yards away from you. So
For sure. For
mhm.
sure. It's not as extreme as like Duke basketball where the players are in the crowd's lap and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, if the crowd wanted to say something to you, I guess they could have said something to you for sure.
Exactly. So I'm glad we were
Uh,
sitting by mostly Stallions fans.
yes, absolutely. Did you at any point, like before the game or anything like that, get to truly like let it soak in, enjoy it, realize, really understand you're in the championship game? Everything we talked about, a couple months ago, we talked about you just need to get a damn ring. We need to finish one of these things, and
Yeah.
it culminated, and you did, right? So, did you
Uh,
get a chance to really soak it in
I
before the
prob
game, or was it just an after the game thing?
I think it was after the game. Like I try to, um, or at least my preparation going for a game like that is to treat it just like any other game. Like don't add any more pressure to it. But after the game, sitting in the locker room with the guys, like talking about everything that we've gone throughout the entire season, it was like probably one of the fastest 3 months that we've ever been a part of, and like it was after that was really like a realization, like, dang, we really just won a championship. We had a 2-week training camp, hit the ground running with a really great first game, and just racked up 8 wins. Had one hiccup, but I feel like we talked about. I feel like we needed that loss just to kind of get back on track and realize that even though we have been winning these close games, we can lose them too. So, but just all that stuff happening in a short 3 months was really the icing on the cake for the realization. Like, dang, we really just played and won a championship in a great, really, really good game.
Really good game. It sucks that there were pretty major injuries on both sides, obviously, and that just It sucks to see. It was a close game though, and it was a good game, and you guys edged it out. It's interesting because obviously we've talked about before. It sucks to be a part of those one-loss seasons where you don't win a championship. So to your point,
Mhm.
you got that out of the way, regrouped. You guys were the top-ranked team the entire way. Uh, After the first week, obviously preseason, you guys were the lowest ranked team. You guys had no chance to win it all. I placed a nice bet on that. Thank you for that. But I mean, like you guys were the top ranked team the whole season, but it's not like you guys didn't have adversity. Your starting
Mhm.
quarterback week one went down. It was
Yep.
a constant revolving door. You had Bo Scarborough come in the middle of the season. That adds a different element. I mean, it was all good, but it's still change is something different.
Yeah.
Obviously, Scooby's injuries. And then in the championship game, yet again, Jamar goes down. I'm not sure if Bo got hurt. It seems like he might have. I'm not
Mhm.
sure. But like, I mean, can you talk about that at all? I mean, you guys were definitely a worn team, and you continue to fight through it, and you won, obviously.
Yeah, we did have a lot of it really was like a roller coaster type of a season, but I think the best part about it was um when guys got hurt or new guys came in, a lot of people would let that discourage them or but we had guys that were just ready to step up and play and like ready to get after. We really embraced the next man up mentality, whether it was at quarterback, running back, DBs. A lot of those guys rotate all the time. Offensive line as well too. Tyree came in the same week as Bo and started every game after that. And we had a lot of rotation going on, and guys didn't get upset or anything like that. Just balled down when they got their chance. So I think it's just a testament of the guys that are in the locker room because that could make or break a season for real, but really we just kept it moving. And that just goes to show the type of guys and the type of players that we had in our locker room, and really a big reason on why we won it all.
Yeah, you talked about, I'm not sure if it was on the show or off the show, how close your locker room was.
Hmm.
You guys grew like to your point, 2 week training camp. People who are hating on the USFL forget that part. And towards the end of the season, obviously, everything started to click and the play
Yeah.
picked up. But you guys grew together so fast. Do you think, at least from the offensive line point of view, because you guys moved out of the hotel. I think some
Mhm.
people still miss that point. Not everybody lived in a hotel. Do you think you guys grew together faster because you did live together? Or do you think it was a product of Coach Skip maybe doing something to make sure you guys bonded? Or how did that come together, you think?
I think living together definitely did help a lot, and also just being in an area that was unfamiliar to mostly everybody on our team. So you gravitate towards the people that you do know, and technically we known them the longest. So whether it had
Hmm.
been a week or two, and then honestly too, man, is just give credit to Coach Holtz and everyone who was involved with bringing the people in on our team. He just drafted not only a whole bunch of really good football players, but just good guys and guys that love football. And when you have something that you can like come together and all be working towards something, it's easier to become friends and easier to want the same things. And I feel like that's the reason why we were so close. Is yeah, we enjoyed having fun. We enjoyed joking around all the time, even in the huddle and but we enjoyed winning more. So that's what really and we won a lot. I mean, that's the icing on the cake. Like if we were 0-10, like these guys were great, but it wouldn't have been that good of a time. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
but, the winning trumps all, and you put Coach Skip and everyone involved put together a really good group of guys in that locker room.
Now, obviously, the USFL is, built with players who are trying to get into the NFL. So naturally, everyone has something to prove.
Right.
Uh, but it truly felt like your team, especially, it felt like it was a lot of players with something to prove. It wasn't just, I'm a little bit too small for the league. It's not just, oh, I went to a small school, so I haven't gotten the spotlight on me. It truly felt like there were a lot of players who were told, no or something at some point, right?
Yeah.
And like, can you speak to that? So, what did the Stallions prove? What do you think you proved? What do you think your team proved, winning it all at the end of the year?
Honestly, man, I just want for sure that everyone on our team really can play, whether it's at this level or at the next level in the NFL. And that is really true. A lot of guys were, right on the cusp of making the NFL roster, or was in the NFL for a little bit of time, and kept bouncing around for whatever reason. And I think it just proved that we can't play at a high level for a long period of time, because leaving out of the NFL, a lot of guys just remember being cut. Not all of the good plays they made to get to the NFL or stick in the NFL, but it's a lot of guys that can really, really play football, and for one reason or another isn't in the NFL at this point. But that doesn't mean that they're not a good ball player, and I feel like that's what a lot of the guys on our team really showed this year.
100%. There should be plenty of players on your team and in the entire league, obviously, that gets plenty of calls to get invited to NFL camps.
Definitely.
Um, for sure, like 100%. One question which I found interesting was from No Distribution. He wants to know what your opinion was on the USFL's late spring schedule as it pertains to getting into NFL camps. Do you think, like, the timing in terms of when the season ends, do you think that hurts players, or do you think it's perfect? What's your overall thoughts on that?
I actually had a conversation with somebody this weekend about that. Um, I wouldn't say that it is perfect. Um, because at this point, a lot of guys, have seen what their rookies can do, want to see what their rookies can do in pads. So, and in this dead period, unless you really didn't like, and this is my opinion, I could be totally wrong, but unless you really didn't like one of your rookies, or a guy that you're on the bottom of your roster, it doesn't make sense to bring someone else in before camp even starts, because you're just going to bring them in and then send them home, and then camp starts in a week and a half or 2 weeks from now. So maybe it's not the best ending time, but like if it was like before the draft, where like you could see a player like, okay, instead of taking this free agent coming in, we'll take a chance on this guy who just finished playing, and we can see if we can develop him this way. I still think guys will get a really good chance, but I wouldn't say it's like the absolute best time for it to end.
That makes sense. And obviously, there has been a couple people who
Hmm.
already have gotten the call, and I'm like we just said, a lot of people will
Hmm.
over the next several weeks once they do see people in pads,
Yeah.
because that's when they can actually start to address some things. Um, in your experiences making it into NFL practice squads and stuff, when do you usually get those tryouts or get those calls? Has it been in the preseason or has it been during the year?
Um, it's a pretty good flux of both. I'm not gonna lie to you. Definitely during the preseason though, because um, being in pads for that many days in a row, guys are gonna get hurt, banged up, or for whatever reason they want to see what they can do to enhance the team. And then practice squad and things like that is usually for towards the end of the year, guys that know teams that know they're not going to be in the playoff hunt want to see how they can get better, what guys they can develop during the offseason program and things like that. So they'll start giving more chances to guys that they believe can help them in the future, not necessarily a present moment need. So a little bit, I guess I would say a little bit of both, but probably during preseason camp you'll see a more roster moves, because you're allowed to have 90 on the roster, and then unless you're trying to break the roster down already, they want to make sure that they have enough reps for everybody during training camp, and see guys and give them opportunities to see if they can make that team.
That makes a lot of sense.
Hmm.
Okay. Going back to the championship a little bit here, Bobby Samsonite again. Thank you for submitting questions all season long. First question: what did you and your teammates do to celebrate after the win? Did you guys celebrate pretty hard?
You know what? That was probably the only bad thing about it, is that we didn't really get a good chance to celebrate, because one, we were staying in Cleveland. By the time we do the award ceremony, um, bring the trophy out, smoke cigars, pop champagne in the locker room. It's 11:30 on a Sunday night, and we have to drive an hour back. So we get
Hmm.
back to the hotel in Cleveland like 12:30. Not really that many places open. So we just went to the casino, because we were right next to Jack's Casino, downtown Cleveland. Lost some money, and then went back to sleep. So
Okay. Uh, It is it's not a very giving casino. I don't think anyone has ever gone there and won that I've talked to, honestly. No one wins there.
Mhm.
Um, Bobby wants to know, will you be in attendance for the championship parade whenever that comes?
I would like to be, depending on when it is. If I have the opportunity to go, of course I would love to. Birmingham was nothing but good to me. We got a championship, made some lifelong friends. So if I can, then I definitely will. But you know, hopefully hoping for a call here. So hopefully I can make it. But if I can, then I definitely will be.
Yeah, so I mean, looking ahead, then the whole what's next is that what's next? Just trying to stay in shape, stay ready, and hoping you get a call soon.
Yeah, stay in shape, stay ready, and then also look for start looking in a little bit of some things that I want to do outside of football because I feel good, feel healthy, but it's not going to last forever. 30 years old now, so um, bright side would hopefully play another 5 years, but 5 years is going to come fast, so I got to make sure I know what I'm doing afterwards. So try to figure out a little bit of that, and but also staying ready at the same time.
That makes sense. Obviously, a lot of bad offensive lines around the NFL the past couple of years. Jordan McCray has a lot of flexibility, played multiple positions on the line, coming off 2 championships. Give him a call.
There
There
it
you go. Cut that, send it to people. Um, Couple questions that are related here.
is.
We'll go with Arbor Trap. Is there a team who you enjoyed playing against the most during the year?
Enjoy playing the most. I mean, the first game of the season, Jersey game was a really fun game, but I had ties. I played with Toby Johnson, the nose guard in the IFL last season. So to be able to play against him was fun, and I feel like a little, even though it was 3-0 in our favor, like the rivalry between us in New Orleans was always made those games fun. You know, those guys are definitely talkers. Two of my best friends play on the offensive line on their team, so it was a little going back and forth the weeks prior to the games. So I'll probably say playing New Orleans was all 3 times is probably my favorite team to play against.
You did start to feel then like true rivalry start to form between your
Yeah.
team and other teams?
hmm And honestly, it was really just those two teams. I wouldn't really say too much of Tampa because when we played them the last time, like they were already checked out. Like it was the last game, so it wasn't the
Mhm.
same feel as it was week 4. And then when we played Houston, Houston has a good team, but I didn't feel the same. It was a mutual respect between us and New Orleans, but I didn't like their team that much. So I think that's why I enjoy playing them.
You can also say it too. I mean, it's hard to have a rivalry with a team that is on the bottom of the standings. Like it's
Yeah,
a one-way rivalry. That
yeah.
that it is what it is. Um, Related, Eric Robertson wants to know, aside from the 2 playoff games, do you have a game that was your favorite during the year?
Um, Man, probably honestly, man, New Jersey, that first game, because we didn't really
Mhm.
know. I mean, we've only been together at that point for 2 weeks. Um, didn't really know what kind of team we were gonna have, but then being down and able to come back and then scoring in fashion the way we did at the end of that game, that was probably one of the more fun games that we played in this year.
That was crazy. I
hmm
do remember that because, yeah, everyone was on the general side, essentially. Everyone was thinking they were gonna win.
hmm
And, yeah, kind of, foreshadowing that you guys continue to come back again and again and
And
again
again,
and again. Can't die. You guys are like the Undertaker, keep sitting
hmm
back up. Last question we have here from Anna Hunt. I do believe possibly a family member from someone on your offensive line there. She wants to know who got to decide amongst the offensive line where you went to dinner on Thursdays.
Um, so we really put it in the group chat, and it's actually a funny like running joke that we had. We would on our off days on Monday, we would put in the group chat, okay, let's figure out where we're gonna go to eat today, because once the week starts, we're not gonna figure it out. And then Thursday would come, and nobody would have an idea, and then it was really whoever put in an idea, and we didn't have too many picky eaters. Bo was kind of picky though. Ryan Pope also was, but 9 times out of 10, it would be either me, uh, Tony Brooks James also came to offensive line dinner with us very often, and Cam would also make a lot of the decisions too. So probably between the three of us, somebody would have somewhere to go.
We had questions about food a few times, I think, during the year.
Uh-huh.
Did you guys find a gem, or was there one thing, one restaurant, something that was insanely good down in Birmingham?
I think the best place that we went to, and it's not even just a Birmingham place, but after we had won, a couple of games in a row, we were like, okay, we're getting an extra 850 every week. Let's go to Perry Steakhouse because there's one right by
Okay.
our apartment, and man, that shit was good as hell, man. So I probably say that's one of the favorites that we went to was Perry Steakhouse, and then there's another place that was close by. Every time close by our apartment, every time we rode past it, it was always packed. It's called Bricktop, and that was a really good restaurant too. So those are probably my top two right now.
You heard it. Once if he gets to come back for the championship parade, someone get some steaks, someone get some
Yeah,
brick top, something down there.
do something
Feed
like
the team. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we shut this down here?
that. No, nothing to think of, man. Thank you everybody for tuning in for this very short 3 months of this podcast, man. It's been truly enjoyable. All the questions you guys tuning in, man, it's been great.
You are correct about it being short. Does not seem like very long ago you were driving to Birmingham,
It's-
recording from your car on the way there, basically. Uh, yeah, thank you to everyone who listened, who asked questions. Thank you, Jordan, for sticking with us all season long and giving us a great look inside the USFL from the top, looking down at everybody else, winning the championship, making this all worth it. I do appreciate it a lot, and I appreciate everyone who listened. Like I said, so I'm not sure what is in store for next season, but at least for right now, this is the final episode of Inside the USFL. And thank you all. Bye.